Have you ever sworn you remembered something crystal clear, only to find out it was all a lie your brain cooked up? The illusion of perfect memory. Think about it. We all picture our minds as flawless video recorders, capturing every detail of life. But here's the shocker: memory is more like a sketchy artist who doodles what it wants, not what actually happened. Take the case of Jennifer Thompson, who confidently picked the wrong guy in a lineup for a rape she survived in 1984. She was so sure, but DNA later proved her memory was dead wrong. Fun fact: studies show up to 50% of people can be tricked into remembering events that never occurred, like getting lost in a mall as a kid when you didn't. Imagine relying on your brain for a court case. Yikes. Talk about a plot twist. This glitch happens because memory reconstructs events on the fly, mixing facts with feelings and suggestions from others. Ever had a friend insist you were at that party when you weren't? That's your brain's sloppy editing at work, blending reality with fiction for a good story. And it's not just harmless. False memories can lead to false confessions or even sway elections. Would you trust your perfect recollection next time you argue with a spouse? False memories, the brain's sneaky imposter. Ever convinced yourself you turned off the stove, only to double-check and panic? False memories are like that uninvited guest at a party, crashing in and making themselves at home. Researchers at MIT found that our brains can fabricate entire scenes, complete with emotions and details, in just seconds. Picture this. In experiments, people were shown a video of a car accident and asked how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other. Those who heard "smashed" recalled broken glass that wasn't even there. Fun fact: it's called the misinformation effect, and it's why eyewitness testimony is so unreliable, leading to wrongful convictions in over 28% of DNA-exonerated cases. Humor me here: if your memory can invent a whole birthday party you never attended, how do you know your childhood favorites weren't just planted by family stories? Relatable example: think about that time you remembered your first kiss being romantic, but it was actually awkward and rainy. Your brain polished it up for the highlight reel. These imposters form because memories aren't stored like files. They're rebuilt each time you recall them, open to tweaks from stress, suggestions, or even a good night's sleep. And it's confusing because it makes you question everything. Did I really eat that entire pizza? Or did I just wish I did? The upside? Understanding this can help in therapy, like for PTSD, where false memories can be reframed. But next time you boast about your sharp memory, remember, it's more fiction than fact. Amnesia, when your past plays hide and seek. What if you woke up one day and your life storybook was blank? Amnesia is that terrifying erase button on your brain, and it's way more common than Hollywood makes it out to be. In 1953, patient H.M. Henry Molaison had surgery for epilepsy and lost the ability to form new memories, turning his life into a perpetual now. He could chat with you, but 5 minutes later, you'd forget the whole conversation. Fun fact: there are types like anterograde amnesia, where you can't make new memories, and retrograde, where old ones vanish. It's like your brain's filing system got hit by a virus. Imagine living like that. You'd reintroduce yourself to your own family every morning. This confusion stems from damage to the hippocampus, the brain's memory HQ, often from head injuries, strokes, or even emotional trauma. Relatable twist: ever walked into a room and forgotten why? That's a mild version, but for amnesia sufferers, it's a daily nightmare, leading to isolation and identity crises. Humor alert: it's not like in movies where amnesia means you wake up as a spy. Real life is more about frustrating loops of "who are you again?" Scientists are still puzzled why some memories stick while others flee, but studies show stress hormones can wipe the slate clean. And it's not just dramatic. Everyday amnesia from aging affects millions, like when you can't recall names at parties. Understanding this highlights memory's fragility, pushing research into treatments like brain implants that might one day restore lost recollections. Would you volunteer for an experimental memory boost if it meant never forgetting birthdays again? The science of forgetting: why your brain hits delete. Ever wonder why you can recite your favorite song lyrics but blank on where you put your keys? Forgetting isn't a bug, it's a feature, but it's confusing as heck how our brains decide what to trash. Back in the 1880s, Hermann Ebbinghaus pioneered forgetfulness curves, showing we lose half of new info in a day without review. Talk about a built-in expiration date. Fun fact: your brain forgets to make room for new stuff, like a cluttered attic that needs clearing, which is why cramming for exams is a bad idea. Picture this. You're at a conference, meet 20 people, and by dinner, their names are gone. Your brain prioritized the coffee you spilled instead. Relatable example, that time you forgot your anniversary because work stress overloaded your mental circuits. It's not laziness, it's biology. Forgetting gets confusing with phenomena like the tip of the tongue state, where you know a word but can't grab it, happening to about 90% of us. Humor me. It's like your brain's playing hard to get, teasing you with almost memories. Researchers link this to interference, where new memories override old ones, or decay, wherein used info fades like old photos. But here's the twist. Selective forgetting can protect us, like blocking out trauma, as seen in soldiers with combat amnesia. Still, it's baffling why some things stick forever, like that embarrassing childhood incident, while important dates vanish. Embracing forgetting could improve life. Apps and techniques like spaced repetition help fight it, turning forgetfulness into a superpower. If you mastered your forget button, would you use it to erase bad breakups? Everyday memory tricks and traps, the mind's daily puzzles. How often do you rely on lists or photos to jog your memory, only to realize they're tricking you more than helping? Memory's everyday quirks are the ultimate head-scratchers, blending confusion with clever hacks. For instance, déjà vu hits about 70% of people, that eerie feeling you've lived a moment before, possibly from brain misfiring or subtle familiarity. Fun fact, it's like your memory glitching, replaying a similar event from your past in real time. Imagine walking into a cafe and swearing you've been there, but it's just your brain's pattern recognition gone wild. Relatable humor. It's as if your mind's saying, "Hey, this feels familiar, must be time travel." Traps like confirmation bias make us remember events to fit our beliefs, like only recalling successes in a failed diet. And schema's mental shortcuts warp memories. You might remember a red car at an accident when it was blue, because your schema for accidents involves red lights. But tricks like mnemonic devices can outsmart these, turning numbers into stories or using acronyms to lock in facts. Ever used the method of loci, visualizing items in a familiar place, like picturing an elephant on your couch to remember groceries? It's confusing how these work because they exploit memory's visual strengths while sidestepping its flaws. In a world of digital aids, we're outsourcing memory, but that creates new traps, like relying on phones and forgetting phone numbers. Fun fact, studies show writing things down strengthens memory, so journaling could be your secret weapon. Mastering these puzzles makes life less confusing and more efficient. So, what's your go-to memory hack? Share it in the comments. If you're as baffled by your brain as I am, hit that like button, subscribe for more mind-bending facts, and share this with someone who's convinced their memory is flawless. Let's unravel these mysteries together. Your thoughts could spark the next big discovery.